In my last video, we talked about what was going on with Giga Texas and how close they are to production and bringing vehicles to customers, so it's only appropriate that now I give GigaBerlin some fair and well-deserved attention because we've been talking about them for years. I still remember seeing that first Elon Musk tweet way back in November of 2019 announcing GigaBerlin and saying that they would build Model Y first and build batteries and powertrains there. He was going on about the next generation paint shop, and it's encouraging to now see so much of what Elon said was going to happen actually come forward, with GigaBerlin now being nearly operational. Obviously, they had a fair about a month ago, and people were able to tour the inside of the factory and see how much of it is currently operational as is. And a politician in Brandenburg is pretty confident at GigaBerlin getting final approval by the end of this year, which I think says a lot considering the end of this year is only a few weeks away, and we're seeing the first evidence of operations officially start now, because Tobias Lind, who's been doing a great job over there covering all of the updates with construction and flying drones over the facility and watching how the cell production area is coming along, he was able to spot what many believe are the first German-made Model Ys coming out of the factory line, because there were several different various color options coming outside of the factory and being driven around a test track, and he was also able to get up close to one of these Model Ys within the parking lot that did not have any license plate on it. And apparently there's not really any delivery centers nearby the factory, so the idea of driving around a Chinese-made Model Y without a license plate in Europe is not fairly likely, and he was able to get pretty up close and personal with this model, as well as spot another one that seemingly has performance tires. The first one he spot that was black had great quality control, very equal panel gaps everywhere, but the second one had performance tires and was covered up, which makes me wonder, is this performance Model Y they're covering up potentially one of the new color options like Mercury Silver, Abyss Blue, or the Crimson Red? That's a lot of speculation on my part, but given how long the main section of the factory has been complete, like we saw over a month ago now, a lot of footage on the inside of different components of the shop working, the paint shop being tested and calibrated, and spotting Model Ys around the facility that do not have license plates on them and seem to be driving around the test track. To me, it's fairly likely that these are the first prototype units, just to be making sure the assembly line is working, and these are very much the last couple of rumors and leaks we get from a factory before it goes into fully fledged production. Now, before you get too excited, it's likely that these pre-production models are not using the 4680 batteries. They do very likely have single piece front and rear castings, which is good, but Elon, when he gave a speech at the county fair last month, mentioned that the first batteries they were going to start with at Berlin would be from China, but because they're likely to start with dual motor, at least it is a dual motor on the Model Y that Tobias spot, that likely means these are 2170 cells from LG Chem or Panasonic. Unfortunately, that means they're not starting off with standard range Model Ys in Germany. Hopefully that does happen in the future, but usually when a factory just gets started, its margins are not very high, so it makes a lot of sense for them to start with the expensive Model Ys first and then work their way down, but it is still a very important step to move forward. And of course, it is not the long-term plan to ship in batteries from China. They are working very hard right now at the 4680 production line section of GigaBerlin, which has the roof going on right now, and of course we still got a lot of permits and paperwork to get through before they're actually producing their own batteries locally, but they've learned a lot from the Cato Road facility and they're hiring more and more people there, so it seems like they have some type of method down for 4680 production, and they're more close to finalizing the cell production plant at Giga Texas, which at least the exterior seems to be fairly complete, and they'll likely be using a lot of the techniques they learned from the Cato Road facility at this new section that's being put up right now in Germany. And when that happens, that's when you can expect hopefully some range increases and a very high cycle life out of that factory. But at the end of the day, this is the first major step of Tesla becoming a European automaker and having a very noticeable presence in Germany, which is where most of the best cars in the world are built. So this is a big step forward. I'm happy to see pre-production units coming out of the factory, and I'm super excited to get that announcement, hopefully by the next earnings call, that yes, GigaBerlin has started production officially and customer deliveries are happening, which should only be a couple of months away at best. Feel free to let me know what you guys are excited for out of GigaBerlin down in the comments below. Thank you to everyone who is supporting me on Patreon and helping me buy my own Model Y one day. It won't be from GigaBerlin, but I hope to visit it in the future and actually see this factory for myself. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Take care.